right? I'll tell you something. We all know how this whole thing sort of a brewed up. Sure, you get. We know it. For those who want to be honest, we know how it all started. APC, Egbekegbe contributed to this much division, okay? Somebody said that, I think that's the princess, was that you? That, are these not the same people singing Oli Oli Nnamdi Kanu? Don't let us mix them up. I'll tell you why, okay? It is an injustice, right? Especially to the young people, okay, who died or got killed during the NSAS protest in Nigeria 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago. Here you get. We know the genesis of all of this. And we know that when NSAS was going on, it had nothing to do with IPOB or Biafra. We know that nothing to do with Nnamdi Kanu. But just like majority of us abroad that time reacted and supported those young men and women. You remember that it got to a stage that they were even telling everybody, we don't want politicians among us. We don't want any celebrity. We don't want anybody to come here and distract us. You remember that? So it would be like, it would be ingenious. It would be like sad if all of you now turn around and then indirectly look at the obedient and call them the people that were singing Holy, Holy Nnamdi Kanu. That is your own indirect way of saying these are the people who are IPOB without saying they are the obedient are IPOB. That's so wrong. And I know a lot of you like that love to drop that all the time. That is your own way of trying to say Peter Obi is about the Igbos and those who are supporting him are Igbos. Sure you get, even when you are not supporting Tinubu or supporting APC or anybody. But that is your own way, your own simple line. But it's not true. You know it's not true, right? It is not. When the NSAS protest was really raging globally, a lot of us here also mobilized international. We are not victims of a police brutality, were we? We mobilized all over the world in solidarity with those young people in Nigeria. You witnessed all of that before politics happened. The people who pushed those children to that state are the people running for office now. They are the people now saying they want to save Nigeria. So if somebody who was never part of that is now running for office, but is an Igbo man, your own indirect way of saying the whole thing is about Igbos, IPOB, by believing the same card, the same line that APC, Egbekegbe, has been trying to push all the time, you are being dishonest, and I don't think that's good. That's not fair. You may not like them. You may not. I mean, you may wish. A lot of you may wish that they are not pushing for an election, right? That they are pushing for revolution or they are pushing for something else that will save all of us from this whole mess. I understand, but you have no control over them. Let's be honest now. A lot of you call them jokes. Yeah, because the election is here, politics is here. A lot of you now remember where you belong to, even if you don't like Tinubu, but he's a Yoruba man indirectly somehow. I mean, if you're not going to support Tinubu, of course you're not going to support another Igbo man, because why would you do that? So all of these are indirect way of you trying, okay, to justify the murdered, the people they murdered, slaughtered, during that 21 days of a program called NSAS. If you turn around and say because Obi is benefiting it, is the one benefiting it? Well, you might wish somebody else is. Sure you get now. So I hope I can be able to let you drop that, please. Because it's not true. These young people that are now coordinating themselves, organizing rallies here, organizing that, if you are not following them on social media, I understand. I do. I follow majority of them, and I can tell you how Obi became the beneficiary of the whole anger, rage that APC, Egbekegbe, created. Well, it's just something that maybe spiritualists will have to help us figure out. But do not turn around and turn Obi and this to Nnamdi Kanu. It's such an injustice. And I hope you probably never have to pass it on. I'm serious, very serious. However, thank you so much, allow me to Richard and the rest of you who actually dropped your super chat. Thank you very much for that. However, anybody who thinks that way, Share you get. I am somebody who believe that if to say Nigeria is a real place, there will be no reason for Nnamdi Kanu to be in any detention, and there will be no reason for anybody, right, advocating for advocating for the referendum for Biafra would never have to lose their freedom, talk less of losing their life if Nigeria was a country. Because you see all these things, right? All these things, they are legitimate, legitimate demands, right? That are part and parcel of democratic process. Nobody should see anybody asking for a referendum as enemy, or those who don't deserve anything as being part of that Nigeria. You know why they are asking for that. And they shouldn't lose their life or lose their freedom for that. But because Nigeria has been made a jungle where slaves are being breeded, where poverty has been produced every now and then, and then look at what we're witnessing today: a chaotic, lawless country, corrupt country. So if some people believe that with law and order in place, yeah, of course, nobody would have to be so afraid to express themselves if they want their own freedom. Naturally, you need an enabling environment to propagate and push this ideology to start with. Whether Obi is going to do that or not, don't ask me. I'm not one of them. I'm just telling you that the perception of so many people is that the reasons why a lot of people are now agitating for this or that today is because APC, Egbekegbe, has managed, right, to destroy that red lines among all the ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, that everybody knows their place now. So if there is law and order in place and nobody is hunting you down because you want Yoruba nation, right, the conversation around it can start. That's what some people are believing in. Not those who actually want power through the spill of blood, and they are not tired of that. They will do it again and again to keep that same power. Do you get that? So there's difference. There are difference. And then, it's all about gambling for those who want to gamble with them. I am not in the mood of gambling for anything. But if you choose around and turn around and begin to downgrade them simply because you feel like he's an Igbo man, Tinubu is a Yoruba man, how come a lot of you are not accusing Tinubu of sponsoring Yoruba nation? Because you know he is not. A lot of you are reading everywhere where IPOB continue to accuse the same Peter Obi of all the atrocities that were committed against the Igbo youth, Igbo young men and women in Anambra when he was governor. IPOB publicly declared their distaste for Obi. But a lot of you are comfortable because Shebi is an Igbo man. He's an Igbo man, Joe. He's a Biafran, Joe, and all of that stuff. That's not fair. It's not. Especially to the IPOB. The people that have paid so much price. The people that are the likes of Obi and the rest, even if they have sympathy for them behind the scene, but he's not able to help them with what Nigeria is doing to them. So it's unfair to reduce their fight or to reduce their their advocacy to Oli Nnamdi Kanu, and they are dropping all of that for Obi because he wants to be president of Nigeria, even when you know that they have nothing. They are not against this presidency, but they are not in support of it. It's obvious. It's out there. I hope you will do that, because if you continue that way, you are not different from this man who is using the same template of religion. A lot of you are using the template of a tribe. A lot of you are using the template of ethnic and all of that. You are hiding behind that, and you could use any different disguise. That's not good. It's not fair, because it's not different from this guy, the same one, because of his own personal triggered bigotry, because of the same Obi. It's like some people don't even know how to react to this guy or anything that is surrounding it. A lot of you are seeing just Obi. You are not seeing these people called the obedient and the rage that is fueling what they are doing. You are not seeing that because you choose not to. Abi? Just like this guy who turned this whole thing to religion versus religion. Muslim, corrupt Muslim are better than honest infidel, all because of Obi. I just had to remind you before we take calls.
Abun mamaki shekaran jiya aka ce dan takarar arnan Najeriya ya zo Kano to alhamdulillah mu kana da yake muna da karamci mun bashi masauki amma kusa da yan uwansa can stadium din bayan gari. Wannan abin da kuka ga an yi masa karamci ne, in jiharsa ka je kai ba za ka samu wannan ba. To abin da ya fi bani takaici shine wai sai ga wasu musulmi an jajjera motoci za su shiga, to amma ne musu uzuri, ko raba arne da makami ne ba wuce ya ce ibada ne ko. Amma dai wallahi ahir wallahi asarar addinin ka za ka yi, ka zaɓi arne. Ko mun lalacewar musulmi, aƙidar musulunci ta ɗari komai. A ƙa'ida idan ga arne ga musulmi, musulmin nan kowane iri ne shi ake zaɓa saboda ya fi kusa da Allah. Amma idan ga musulmi to kuma nan sai a zaɓa a darji da baƙin ƙirin ware baki-baki, to haka ake yi. Wannan shine sirrin rayuwa. Amma gidadanci ne da ƙauyanci, wai ka ce za ka tafi zaɓar arne yemami. Ka karanta tarihin Najeriya, duk lokacin da ka ji Najeriya tana zaune lafiya musulmi ne yake mulki. Amma in dai su suke mulki to sai sun tayar da fitina, sai sun ɗana wata musibar da har bayan mulkin su muna girbarta. Yanzu kuna ganin duk fitintunin da ake arewacin Najeriya kun ɗauka yanzu suka faru? Wallahi tuntuni aka shuka mana su, yanzu girba muke yi. Kuma wallahi a lokutan mulkin su suka shuka mana wannan time bomb ɗin da yanzu yake tashi da mu. Ko mun lalacewar naka wani abun ba za a yi maka ba inda shi, kai ne baka san me ya tare maka ba. Amma lokacin da ka rasa shi baka da shi, to za ka gane kuranka. Ko mun lalacewar ƙyauren ƙofa yana ba wa ɓarawo tsoro, tsammani yake ƙofa a rufe. Amma ka buɗe ƙofar ka wangale, to ba wanda ya kai ka hauka. Kuma ka ce Allah ya kiyaye, to ya kiyaye me? Kai ma baka nemi kiyayewan ba, dan kai ma baka rufe ƙofar ba. Allah ya sa mu gane.
Yeah, that's the guy who said that a corrupt Muslim is all because Obi was in Kano. Remember that El Rufaya once tweeted that if Obi see 200 people in Kaduna, it will take him serious. And you saw what happened in Kaduna, you saw what happened in Kano, you saw what happened in Gombe, Bauchi, Borno. All these are thanks to social media. All these are just to kind of give you an idea that a lot of things that you have been made to believe for years about Nigeria, it seems that these guys, disobedient, are going to demystify a lot of them. Whether you believe them or not, whether you support them or not, it doesn't matter. It's happening. Live or denying it doesn't mean that it's not happening. And these guys have to play the religious card. He wanted to play religious card. And he got to a point that he knew that Buhari has failed them. Muslims are dying. Christians are dying. Poverty is not sparing anybody. Insecurity is not sparing anyone. Joblessness is not sparing anyone. Out of school children and the whole is not sparing anyone. Everybody is trapped in the consequences of the existence of APC. And all he could say was that they are still being protected because the person in charge is a Muslim. Do you even understand what I mean? It exposes a country that was wrongly forced together. People of different ideologies and culture and traditions being forced together. And those who enforced that, who forced that to happen, they are still in power in Nigeria. Therefore, if they have to kill all of us to keep this fraud together, they will do it, including if they have to incite us against one another. But look around you. Everybody is a victim of what is wrong with Nigeria. But he was bold enough to tell the people that Christians this, Muslim that. And a lot of people believe him. See, you may not believe him. You may say he's a madman. That's you. There are tens of thousands like him up north. Now they're going to have to speak out. The more they speak out, the more you get to know how much it is of a wrong thing from the world goal to force Nigeria together and call it one Nigeria. They never believe anybody like an infidel. You know what an infidel is? Imagine me, a Nigerian, that they said I have to answer Nigerian everywhere I go. But because I'm not a Muslim, I am an infidel, a filthy thing, a dirty rag, a pitiful slave, somebody whose life is worth nothing. All because I am part of people with that believer mentality. And whatever I try to do, I should just live in peace and never try that I want to be a president in Nigeria because I am an infidel. How do you think that feels? What does that tell you? It tells you everything you need to know about Nigeria, the incompatibility. And it's not going away. Obi is not going to take that away. I believe that. No, he's not going to take it away. Yeah, he may end up exposing them and then demystifying them. But trust me, this is a generational, age-long belief. How do you model people like that into a country that says, if I'm not a Muslim, I'm an infidel, and I don't qualify to be a president of any country? Then surprisingly, an infidel, without paying any kobo, share you get, started pulling this crowd. That is exactly why they have to pull that religious card. So if he is pulling religious card, if you look at the obedient and you call them Nnamdi Kanu, holy, please, let me tell you this. You are pulling a tribal card. But you probably don't know that. Because at least you are not tribalistic. Come on. There's nothing more tribalistic or more sort of religious intolerance than anything that they use in gaslighting people, even when they are not true. One of the things that made that Afar to start speaking in tongue, I'll show you at this video.
No. Don haka muna marhabin wa shi shugaban kasanmu da vice president. Kuna ji? Gaura mu muna son jama'a su shigo ne a gansu a nan kar ku kore su. Sabila da in ba haka ba wai ta satan waya. Duk wanda aka same shi yana satan waya a miƙa shi a hannun police. Muna godiya ƙauraye tun jiya da daddare kuke nan kuka kwana a nan. Don haka mai girma Peter Obi na godiya. Kuma insha Allah yau, insha Allah za ku yi farin ciki da ku yi dariya. Da Allah ku yi shiru ku bari a ci gaba da taro lafiya. Dan yi amfani da wannan dama a miƙa mic sabila da lokaci ya riga da ya karatu. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Chairman. Bauchi, are you here? Matasa, are you here? Please help me welcome one of global.
Now they said that's haram. That is an haram for any Muslim to go after any infidel and say you want to make. Are you mad? It's haram now. But to release terrorists and leave the victim of terrorism in refugee camps in Nigeria, that's not haram. It's nothing much to this animal. But it is Nigeria. Here you get. And that is why when you see the likes of Buhari, incompetent, corrupt, murderous dictator or tyrant, as long as he's a Muslim, he's closer to Allah. That's the belief of the charlatan, the fraud. Buhari is closer to Allah. What does being closer to Allah have to do with the price of a gari in the market? What does being closer to Allah have to do with the value of naira in Nigeria? Except they want to use religion to swindle you, hoodwink you, control you, subdue you. There's absolutely nothing that can put religion and politicians in the same place, except the fact that they are the ones who created religion in the first place. You won't believe that, Abi. Oh, okay. It's a long story. Anyway. A control manipulating tool that they have been using for decades up north. Social media is demystifying that. A lot of people are now challenging their affairs. I showed you this earlier, didn't I? I'm serious. This is considered an haram to go anywhere and say anybody should be the president of Nigeria, where Muslims are. This is jihad. But guess what? That same Muslim north that they are saying, which is not homogeneous, no, there's nothing like homogeneous north. That same north has witnessed the worst of the worst of the worst terrorism, the worst of the worst of the worst poverty, the worst of the worst of the worst out of school children, the worst and the worst of the worst of terrorism. All of this happened under a man who is a northerner, who is a Fulani, who is a Muslim, and a former general, army general. And that madman opened his mouth, hiding behind that religion, talking nonsense. Unfortunately, a lot of those who claim to be educated actually believed him. So if they say disruptor, share you get. What you have right now is a team of hungry, determined, young and the old people in Nigeria banking on using their beavers, using their PVC. So if you are not somebody who is indirectly in support of these criminals, you are not in support of APC, doing this shege to people. You are not indirectly supporting people destroying people, PDP, as usual, you shouldn't have any problem with the obedience. They've never done anything wrong to you. Sure you get. No matter what you are looking around for, to try to bring the Obi closer to Kolu, Atifku, or Kwakwanso, you yourself, you know it's not true. It's not real. So any damages where they won't cause, I'm okay with it. They said they are coming to destroy the structure of impunity, the structure of tyranny, structure of division, structure of poverty, structure of corruption. Anything where they talk, say they won't do, let them do it. If they do them or they no do them, you should not in any way be an indirect sympathizer with the same criminals we all condemn every now and then. I don't like that Obi is because that Obi Babako Shidano. Obi, if you are not from Anambra, you have no right to complain about Obi. Sure you get. Now the place where you rule for 80 years, but then them suppose say this man are evil, this man destroy our life, this man stole our money. Sure you get, Don't turn around and be looking for something that will justify, and then you ignore the criminals who are using your money to train their own children in Yoruba land, for example. They are using your money to train their children abroad, using your money to acquire property for their children and themselves abroad. They are richer than your state, and you can tell all of them. You know their names. So Koko Shidano, Kokori Brukusigbo. Sure you get. If Obi was one of those who signed the budget of your state in the last 24 years, yes, I'll believe you. But it was never one of them. What have you done about the criminals? Because they are Yoruba, Anyway, let me take one more call or two, and then I can quickly just go to my bed. Akinola Fioye, you are a proof that I remember when the NSAS protest was very much so prevalent and loud, right? Majority of those funding, support, mobilization, and all of that, they were coming from diaspora. I witnessed it. I was there. I kept record of a lot of things that happened during NSAS. October 2020. I did. Go and check my page, check my channel. You see a lot of them there, including the shooting of those children at Telekito Gate. I have it all covered, right? So, Mekuna know they tried to mix them, because what happened here is that if you look around you today, you realize that so many young people, especially Yorubas, they are more into this, they are obedient, disobedient, that, than you can even imagine. Would you call them Omuale, or you will call those criminals who kept us under the perpetual destruction of Nigeria, only to use us as a bargaining chip, a threat to Nigeria so that they can get power. I bet that way. But hello, Jerry, there. Can you hear me?
Hello, my good
Baba, wow, and you go.
I want to touch me.
Samuel Dada, is that you? We have history, sure you get, and I know how much you personally, right, invested, right, in an effort back then to get the youth, right, to do the right thing and get rid of this establishment. And I've always been seeing you in the comment where you have always been expressing that same. But what I'm trying to say is that, Baba, you know it. This is the reality. Sure you get. We might wish it for other way, But this is what is happening. So even if we are condemning that they are not doing it the way you want them to, but that won't deny the fact that it's happening. It is happening. We can acknowledge that, and the two truths can coexist. That's why I mentioned your name, Baba. How are you?
I know I'm fine. In fact, some days ago on YouTube, maybe you didn't know I was the one. I wrote something that you were saying something. I know it's so painful what we are passing through in Nigeria. So in my own belief is that actually we want to salvage Nigeria or salvage our ethnicity, tribe, or anything we want to salvage. I still believe that the solution is political. That is the way I see it. Because we started all these Yoruba nation agitations together. You remember in 2019 after election, which and Citizen AY. It was Showore platform. We turned to, let anybody come out and deny it, that we turned to Yoruba or to do Yoruba diaspora something. You understand? So as time goes on, I started believing that we need to go political. But we need the headers. No, we Yorubas, we always believe in the headers. But the headers came on board. Look at what happened to you. All your efforts, people contribute to money. So I have in so much believe that the only solution is to go political. It's either we have a plan B. But people did not want that. I spoke with Dr. Shupo several times with this man on Heritage that we need a plan B. If we can go into this election with them in our local government in Yoruba land, maybe they will use our ideology of Yoruba to defend our cities, our communities, our villages. But they said they don't want to go into that. But now here we are today. We are still going back to the same old people that doesn't have the interest of Yoruba or Igbo or any other tribe in their heart. So, Mayegu, whatever you are doing, I'm not against it. I'm not against anybody. I so much believe in my own political ideology that we just need to salvage that country in any means. It's either Showore's ideology or Yoruba, any means, but I believe
we need political power to be able to turn things around.
Yeah, to do anything.
I agree with you. Anything. What I'm trying to also pull up is that we all wish that this time around that this is happening, right? That the attention of the young people that Peter Obi is inheriting today is the other way around. But you and I know that we don't have any control over that. Sure, you know, and that's why I said that I agree with you. We might not have the strength now, yeah. Maybe we should just put in the work, like I've been trying to tell others as well. I said, listen, maybe we need to put in the work enough that we can actually influence things, even if we don't join their politics. But, Baba, thank you very much as well for actually stopping by. I have to say, yeah, whatever we say, or whatever we do, right? Everything that we're going to have to use to tell a story or history is going to happen while we are here on earth. So, I mean, I think this is part of that happening right before us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Remember that I asked after you when I came to Scotland in October.
About 3 days that, about 3 days that you made an effort that we should see when you came around from Italy, was it? Yeah?
Yeah, but no, right now I'm in another country, well, no problem.
That's good. But again, you just keep doing what you are doing, right? If Obi is benefiting from this whole trending move that the young people and all of them are giving to him, if he should, right, like they say, whatever happens, right, that could even be the beginning for, for idealists, right? Ideological people like yourself and all of them, maybe to have a chance to actually challenge the system without the threat of jail or death. Everything works differently in a way.
I'm not against. May I go to be sincere? This is a democratic setting. I'm not against Obi platform or anything, but people shouldn't be forcing Omoyele Sowore to collapse his own structure for anybody. That is not democratic. And Sowore is the only person that has been working single-handedly on his own before he comes out politically to fight for Nigeria. So people should respect that as well. So for that reason, I'm not against anybody. But the fact remains that the Constitution of Nigeria says that before you can become a president, you need to win 24 states. And with the present condition in Nigeria, they've been winning with 16 million. I want to see if truly Nigerians are ready to give Obi up to 20 million to 25 million votes. Because the large number of people that
time will tell.
So I don't know how that will happen. We just pray to have a change of government. So that is it. We continue going on with it. Thank you so much for what you are doing. So we continue following you.
And stay safe. That's Samuel Dada for those of you who have been reading his commentary on Facebook or on YouTube, is I told you, these are the early people from the diaspora who felt like something needed to be done in the psyche of the young people in Nigeria. I'm talking about things about 10 years ago or 7 years ago. And they saw that light in Omoyele Sowore, and we indeed gave Omoyele Sowore that global acceptance from so many of us. And that's why some people are now trying to tell Sowore that why don't you just collapse your destiny and follow Obina and all of that? But it doesn't work that way, like Samuel that said. But here is another caller. Hello there. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Mayobo.
Good evening to you. How are you?
I'm fine. You are speaking to. I'm
Sorry.
calling from.
I didn't grab your name, but where are you calling from?
My name is Ani Ifebu. I'm calling from Abricot.
Beautiful, Baba. You are live. Everybody can hear you. Yeah.
I want to first of all appreciate you for being transparent, and
thank you, Baba.
I've been following you for quite some time now. You know, this is my first time ever I am calling on a live program in anything that has to do with
the first time of having to pick up your phone after listening to a program and then calling ever. Is it?
Thank you very much. And today's program, I followed it since you started it. I've been watching, I've been reading comments up till now. So I decided to make my own contribution. So what I actually want to say is concerning those people that always tag to be IPOP.
That part. President. I mean, it's so common, isn't it? Yeah. Whenever they don't have anything to say about Peter Obi, they just link him to IPOB. Very even when IPOB publicly, always kind of tackle Obi himself. We know you are this, you are that. But people ignore that, and that's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not saying it's not fair on Obi. I'm saying it's not fair on the legitimate battle of the IPOB to say Obi is. Come on.
Now, I want to quickly remind those people that always tag Obi and IPOB that Obi actually is not the first person or first Igbo man that has come out to contest for Nigerian president. Mm-hmm. Even Ojukwu, who fought for Biafra, who was the head of Biafran state, contested under the Nigerian
that same Nigerian election stuff. And guess what? Igbos voted for PDP. They didn't vote for Ojukwu. That happened though. That's history.
The Igbos did not vote him. And when you talk about this 2023 election, so there were some governors who stood by Nnamdi Kano as a trustee that got bail for him. Those include governor of Ebonyi State, who contested the primary of
that's a Devil Umayi.
Yeah, includes Okorocha, former governor of Imo State.
He contested it too.
I could probably tell anyone who is studying Obi.
Ogbonaya Onu was there too, but he was not a governor in the East. Yeah, but go on.
I mean Okorocha, former governor of Imo State.
Of Imo.
He was a shorty also under when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested the first time.
I remember.
He was a shorty that got bail for him, and he contested primary under this. And I want to tell any of them that is tagging Peter Obi, an IPOP president or Igbo president, that if we are to be Okorocha or governor of Ebonyi State that come out that won the primary as a presidential candidate, that he is not going to get even 1% of the popularity.
You are so right. And then it's just to further confirm what I have said. Yeah, people have said this many times. So they said, bring another Igbo man out and see if people will follow him the same way. Just do that. Try it.
I don't know why people fail to understand that. I'm not. To me, I believe in dividing Nigeria. But you know, when you are fighting for a cause that will take a long step like this, you have to. At least we are not going to stay with that president while we are fighting for our own
that's right.
cause of Biafra or the Yoruba nation or whatever. But I mean, how can a sensible person watch the whole things that has been going on in Nigeria, the contestants and all that, and they choose to say, some of them are saying that even though Tinubu cannot work, they are going to vote for him. this man has been the part, and he was the person who packaged the current president, the situation we are in now, from buying rights for 8,500 to 55,000. They are the part of the problem, the whole thing, the whole scenario.
No, they are not part of it. They are the orchestrator of the problem, and they are not even denying it. Like, they are beating their chest that yes, we did it, but we didn't do anything wrong.
Seriously, when I see Nigerians, you know, why I don't call in programs or even comment in such programs, because when I see Nigerians, I see that they are not yet ready to be right-rated. Like, you see that when trying to educate them, it seems that you are wasting your time. Like, I mean, the killing of Fulani did not start today. Thank God that social media escalated it. My mom used to say, she used to travel to North to buy yam during 90s. They were cutting people's heads. Like, if they stop a truck, they will ask you if you're a Christian, Muslim, they will bring out the Christians, they will cut their arms, their hair, their hands and all that. And my mom jumped into a river one certain time and she broke her legs and all that. It didn't start today, but social media escalated it. And people fail to understand where Nigeria is heading.
I mean, there are victims, all these stories you are hearing about, there are victims, they are human beings, with the same red blood like you and me, Now, if they tell you they don't matter, one day it could be your own turn, and when it's your turn, they will tell you it don't matter too.
Yes, because they are not yet the victim. I don't know if they believe that it could not get to their doorstep, because I could proudly tell them that most people who supported APC are the victim of this insecurity, killing, kidnapping.
Yeah, victims of the poor economy, joblessness, poverty increase, insecurity. Baba, name it now. They are victims of it.
I'm just so tired.
Baba,
I'm just so tired of all these people.
Somebody will now come around and say, listen, somebody will now come around and say, is it then, what about that, these people? I say, but these people have no say in how you are protected and how they keep you safe. They have no say. How come, why are you guys jumping the gun, jumping the people who you gave the power to keep you safe? Only to go and start looking for those, who have no such power. How do you do that? How do you do it?
I don't
the problem with that,
the celebrities. I don't actually blame the celebrities and the so-called influencers that support them, because I don't
intelligent people. Now they call them belly lecturers.
But the poor masses who are in the street, who cannot allow you to pass in a supermarket in Nigeria to buy even a bread without begging you for money, are coming out proudly. They will even beg for data online to come and support.
I mean, we are seeing all of that, Baba. See, let me tell you something. When I started giving money to support people on social media, before I stopped it, you know one thing, it was so bad, right? 3 years ago, I used to just show up. I would just be like, randomly, I'm going to give 10 people 100,000 naira. I'm going to give 5 people 50,000 naira recharge. You know that stuff, right? Then it became so bad that when I started reading comment, right? You say, I'm going to give people this money. You haven't said that when and how, and people will start dropping their bank account. I mean, Baba, bank accounts are things that we usually be very careful about. We cover them up. But people have become so poor.
Your personal information,
that they flaunt them everywhere on social media. About 3 years ago, and I saw Yorubas, and I was like, Omo, I go pretend to say I know they see this thing. Our people not turning to social media Bambi Allah. Are this not happening? I'm seeing this. Baba, from that moment I knew that the future is bleak. Today, people will beg and fight. They reported my page many times because they didn't win. You know why? Those who didn't win.
You don't need to say, I've been following you.
They were reporting me and say, he's a fake. He's a fake man. They will say, why are you reporting? I mean, Facebook will send me confirmation that people are reporting my page the day I gave people money. The following day, Facebook will send me and say, people are reporting. I say, why? They said, my page is against their religion. Because they didn't win. That's when I knew there's something there to be done in Yoruba land, or else we are done for. And I will not blame anybody outside Yoruba land for all our problems. That's something some people don't like. Why, how dare you not blame other people for our problems? Why do you have to look at the people who created the problems? Because they are Yorubas.
You can see this man Tinubu is not the first person, has not been the first person. He was not the first governor of Yoruba of Lagos State. There has been governors before him, and who the Lagos State has once been capital of Nigeria. These people led Lagos State as governor, and they left the seat behind for others. This man, after ruling Lagos State, he cannot leave the seat.
He hold the place.
Stop controlling the people in the on that seat. He cannot even stop controlling the citizens and the people who he is controlling. You know, I always go and watch the video of his entrance, his gate. I saw how poor people always stand on march at his gate to beg. Always when he's in Lagos, poor people will stand on march at his gate to beg.
It's always like that. It's always like that. It's called Amala politics, eh? Let me tell you, it's called Amala politics. It started there from Ilorin in Kwara State by the Olushola Saraki dynasty. Sure you get. From there, it moved to Ibadan. Where you remember that man now, Olosha Molete. I don't know if you remember him, eh? His name is.
Yes, I remember him.
Why did I forget his name? It just disappeared in my head right now. Do you remember his name? Lamidi Adedibu.
No.
Amala politics. Adedibu politics of Ibadan. Right? Then Arishekola politics of Ibadan as well. You remember Arishekola? We used to call him the Baba Adini, the Muslim chief of the entire Yoruba land. He was Abacha's friend. Okay? Now, you see all these Amala politicians, if they are always using religion, Islam mostly, right? So some of them who have access to Saudi Arabia, they'll go to Saudi Arabia and say, we are promoting Islam in Nigeria. You need to give us money. A lot of poor people are in Nigeria and they are ready to become Muslims. Saraki, Arishekola, and Lamidi Adedibu. But the difference is that Lamidi Adedibu was collecting his own rabba from military as well as civilian. And he became, you know what I mean? Just make sure that people are able to eat. If people are hungry, they walk to your house hungry. Give them food. After they have finished eating, they have settled down. Tell them anything. When they are leaving, give them something. And tell them they can come back anytime to come and eat. Then you can control them all the time. Imagine that happening in Lagos. See, brother, let me take another call, okay? You and I can just be here all night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right? Stay safe. I've got Osita on the line. I believe Osita is not going to get cut off by the network again tonight. How are you, Osita?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very well. I mean, just trying to rush through the time. I mean, So you made it. You're part of it tonight.
Yeah, I know you need to sleep. Anyway, I've been listening to the discussion online.
Well, there's been so much talked about. So you know how we do it, yeah? If there's something we are missing, you had it. If there's something we didn't like, you believe that we should go extensive, take your time. Osita, everybody's listening.
Yeah. First and foremost, this issue of what is causing the whole problem, what is tying us back. I have said it on this program, and I don't think I'm going to ever change. The problem we have is not religion, it's not ethnicity, especially I'm talking about the South. Because in the North, it could be religion, but it is largely to the level, the standard of education. But you see, in the South, the standard of education might be high based on when you look at when somebody moves from Nigeria down there in the Western world, you will see that the person does fine if the person continues an education line.
I know.
But then, in everything about life, there is always the negative and the positive side. Which one have we chosen? The light of it or the darkness part, the dark part of it? I think what happens in the South is that we're taking the dark part of it. Because after we obtain the education, then the next thing that comes to us is oppression.
That's
how
right.
we oppress one another. So that
take advantage, just like what Nigeria represents, Osita, yeah? Just take advantage when it is your turn, exactly. And then you can do what you like, and then go and suffer for it afterward once it's no longer your turn. And that's what Nigeria has become, right?
Yeah, so when I live in Ikoyi, I live
maybe I leave the junction of Bulega and I come to live in Ikoyi.
Right, right.
I don't want the other person that lives in those places to come over to Ikoyi. That is what we did for ourselves. So invariably, they succeeded in destroying the life of that education. They destroyed the education, whereby people don't know their rights. I was feeling bad. I didn't want to call on this program today, but when you said, even those people that you were giving your money to online, they'll still go back and say some negative things about you just to shut you down because they were not able to receive from you at a point in time.
No.
You will find out that that is the darkness that they have given to them in exchange for the education that they had. That nobody is willing to be happy for one another for the good things that happens to that person. You know, I can imagine it when people will say, oh, P2B. The reason I don't talk about P2B, I wouldn't lie to you. I've never said anything about it. The reason I don't talk about him on this program is because I don't want it to look as if it's an Igbo connection.
Well, I mean, see, somebody like me, I talk about him, Osita. I talk about him because I just have to like what I do all the time, okay? Look deeper into what he's doing, look deeper into those behind all of that, and look deeper into whatever they are actually like sharing. Share that with a lot of people who would like to know too, so that when they begin to drive this Igbo, this Yoruba, that Muslim, this Christian, that, right? Facts will be able to dispel fiction, okay? But apart from that, you know what I mean? We've got no real stake in how they will decide what happens. You know that. We don't. Especially some of us, we don't.
Yeah.
Sure, you get. But trying to dispel lies, because we know the end result. Oh, sister, sorry for cutting you, right? We know the end result when they begin to play those cards. Okay, is an Igbo man, or is a this or that. We know the end result. We know the goal. It's not about him being Igbo or being Yoruba or what have you. It is just the same racial tribal card that the ruling class have always been using to keep people so divided until after they've gained the power to deal with everybody when they begin to talk about unity. So people need to know how the game is played. That when they tell you it's an Igbo man, it's this or that, it has nothing to do with that. They're only playing on that particular side of your own membrane, on our brain. Osita, you know what I'm talking about, Sha? Yeah? Go on.
Yeah, I understand you. And I totally agree with you. Let me say this thing clearly. Like the other caller said, if you were to bring up Hope Uzodinma, you were to bring up Omar, you were to bring up even, what's his name? That's one that said he's a billionaire in Anambra. Even the governor of this
Soludo, which one?
Soludo. If you want to bring it, if you bring those people out, believe me, they cannot control 1% of the crowd that this man is controlling. The only thing that kept this man here, that the reason these people, this youth, they embrace him, is one thing, his character.
I mean, I understand. See, Osita, some will say we are no longer seeing much of IPOB. That's a lie. Sure, you get. IPOB is still running their things, and every day they continue to demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. What do you want them to do? To start killing people?
I want people to understand.
Yeah, go on.
IPOB is a regional body.
That's right. Acting. It's not a national thing about Nigeria until Nigeria decided to make it their problems. Yeah, go on.
IPOB has not told the Hausa people to detach themselves from the Fulani. IPOB has not said to the Yorubas to detach themselves from Nigeria. But IPOB is just fighting for what is their right, and the only thing they are fighting for is give us a referendum so that we can do this thing in peace.
And we can put this whole thing to rest once and for all. If we lose, Nnamdi Kanu said, if I lose, see, if you call for a referendum, and the people who vote no to Biafra, they win, you will never hear from him again. You will never see him again. And he will never raise it again. He said it.
So,
But they
do
would
not
never
know
let
why
him try
people
that.
will
They
play-
won't.
Yeah. I do not know why people will play the dangerous card. I was looking at Tinubu the other day in one of your this thing that you were playing some of his telecast.
Yeah.
He was saying, I am his landlord. Who gave you landlord over Lagos? You are not a Lagosian. If it is where everybody is dragging where they come from, at least Tinubu was not born in Lagos.
No, it
I
wasn't.
own Lagos better than Tinubu because I was born and bred in Lagos. That is.
And there are millions like yourself.
Yes, I can name the maternity hospital where I was born in Ikeja. He can't do that. But it's because of the corrupt
Oh,
nature
I
of
got
Nigeria.
Osita. I got for me, eh? Osita. You know what you're gonna do for me, right?
Yeah.
One of my clip just stopped, but you stay on the line, okay? You don't really have to go anywhere,
Okay.
all right? It's gonna take me just a moment to get it done, okay? Don't go anywhere. I will be back
right.
in a minute. In a minute. I'm very sorry, Osita. Are you there, Osita? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Oh, brilliant! Sorry. See, my my camera batteries they run on battery, right? They last for like an hour and 10 minutes. So I just got carried away. One of them is been running for 90 minutes, so it finally ran out. Anyway, continue, Osita.
Now, I told people the awareness that people like you, people like other people who have been commenting on Nigeria, the effect that it has is that this is the very first time in the history of Nigeria that even if they were not given the platform, there were younger people, generation, who says they want to be president. When you listen to them, when they go on their campaign, whatever they do, you will find out that they have something to say.
That's right.
They have a message to communicate that affects everybody, not just some people, but everybody.
Everyone.
Why I said everybody? Even if you like, you are a Bill Gates in Nigeria, you are Elon Musk in Nigeria. Trust me, you still suffer the same thing that the ordinary man suffers, if not anything. The combustion in Lagos, the combustion in Nigeria. You say you are a big man, you are a rich man, you have a 500 million naira mansion, then at the end of the day, you are planting a generator in that compound. And at the end of the day, what do you receive? You receive something that is going to kill you.
And they still have to fly you about 6 hours into another country to get medical care. What if you die on the way? You have the money, of course, or you have to die on the way. How do you think about that?
Yeah,
what happened to your money?
Yeah, so everyone is facing the same thing. So the reality on ground is that they have succeeded in destroying the education. I've said it time to that number here. I read one particular book by one writer in Greece.
Right.
He said the only way to destroy a country, I can't remember the man's name. He said the only way to destroy a country, take away education,
is to destroy their education. You are right.
That is what they have successfully done to Nigeria. But I thank God, like I said, for people like you, you have opened the eyes of many people. And there's something I hold you for, that I respect you for. This thing that is called ethnicity card, you are far away from it.
Because I
that
have
is
to.
Something I really appreciate you for.
See, Osita, I keep telling people, I know it's a tough one, okay? That we should all try to be better than what we condemn. If you condemn something and say, this is not right, this is wrong, you should never find an excuse to do that same wrong thing because you can't do away with it. because somehow it's going to affect something you also believe in. So if you really want to come clean. Let it be clean. Don't give an excuse or give a reason why you are still, you know what I mean? I know the damages this ethnic card has done to a lot of us. I've seen Yorubas, my own brothers and sisters, who are victims of what one Nigeria has done to us. Sure you get. And they are much comfortable blaming other people who have no say in writing their laws, writing their budget, approving the budget, borrowing money in their names, executing projects in their names that they will never execute. You know what I mean? My people are fond of trying to point fingers. And I know a lot of us in Nigeria always point fingers at others. Igbos point fingers at Yorubas. Yoruba point fingers at Igbos. Hausa point fingers at Fulanis. Fulani point fingers at Igbos. Igbos point fingers at Hausas. But a lot of us are ignoring the people who actually hold us down for everything we might have suffered, or any marginalization any marginalization we might have suffered.
One more last thing.
Mm-hmm.
What my last thing?
Go on, Osita.
This man, whatever his name is, aka Tinubu, when he came on board in Lagos State, I was one of the people, I have said it on this program, I was one of the people that embraced him because of a show that he put up in Ulukoju. I can't forget it.
I was dancing at Ijebode garage, yeah? Ekpe garage in Ijebode. The day the judgment came in that Aregbe Mugbo has been declared the winner by Justice Ade Farati. That he has defeated the Lagunsoyo Yilola, defeated all of them in court. I was dancing. I was not from Osho. I am from Ijebu, Ogun State. But the news broke when I was at a park that year. I won't forget, before I left Nigeria. I was dancing.
So I won't forget it. I came out. There was an accident. He came down from his car to the government, and he went there. He was helping people to bring out people who were involved in that accident. And it touched my heart. I said, "Oh, this man is a good man. He's a great man." From today, that is one of my districts. But at the end of
do you remember? See, Osita, you are from Lagos. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember that 21 years ago, January 27, 21 years ago, was what happened the Ikeja cantonment bomb blast, Okeafa, where people actually perished in the Kana and all of that, right? That night when people didn't know what's going on, we thought it was Cuba and all of that. Tinubu came on very late that night. I mean, sorry, not very, very late that night, right? Enough to bring everybody's mind down and say, hey, you know what I mean? But this were like 21 years ago. There was no alpha beta. Yeah. There were no lances from people in Lagos. There were no money being stolen. There were no Godfather being where people are like, there were no all of this. So you were right.
So why I'm telling you this? I traveled when I went to Nigeria. A friend of mine, who went to the same primary school, secondary school, partially, before I left for Gobi College. That, my friend, he wanted to become a Lagos State House of Representative member. The father is the late dad is the Oba of one of the
Obas in Lagos, right? Mm-hmm.
So when we were talking, we went for the union. So we got there, and he was there. We started talking about politics. For one thing to the other led to his campaign. And I came up to him and I said, Ogbeni, believe me, I will never accept your candidacy, number one. And I will never tell anybody. He said, why?
To listen to you.
He became angry. And I told him that Sabanika I will beat you the way I'm looking at you. And this particular place where we are, believe me, the boys that will support me against your people, you won't believe it. I said, don't think because of I live in the US and you think maybe I've forgotten those uniforms, I wear those things. I said, calm down, let's talk about this thing. Like elderly people. We're like
matured people, yeah.
So we are not young anymore. But let's talk this thing out. I said, give me a reason now. Tell me the reason why I have to vote for you. Believe me, I know the reason I jumped on him like that. He doesn't even know the reason why
he should be elected.
That he wants to be. Wow.
Yes. And I now said, return that question back to me and ask me the reason why I don't want to. I said, let me tell you something, the local government. I am opportune that whatever happens in that local government, if I want to get information, it's a snap of my finger, I will get it.
Of course.
I said you were giving 20 million naira for your father's street.
Fix your Papa street, too.
Yes, when he was a councillor in that ward, that you were giving 20 million. I said, if you want, we will drive to that place now, and you show me one thing that you did on that street. That road was so bad. That street is so bad. That street is so dirty. I said,
and in Papa still did that street, Abi. In Papa still did the street.
Yeah.
So in the was he going there with his new automobile, expensive Jeep or what have you? Probably.
He was going there because that was where he was oppressing people.
And now to show to them that I grew up in this street. Oh, look at me. I'm honorable now. Look at me.
He's honorable. Then gather people's wife here and there. That was what he was doing. I'm sorry to say it on this program. So what am I trying to say? I told him that the other people who were supporting him, all of them were silent because they respect him because I come from the US and the girl were in her house is our own mate too. She came from Houston. So I said, it is until people like me and the rest of these people behind you, they tell you the truth that you can't do this job. That is when we will start experiencing good things. I said, I cannot go to Bodilon and go and look for Tinubu. But somebody like you, I can look for you at any time and I will locate you.
And I can find you when I want, of course, because I know you.
Yes, and that's the reason I'm communicating with you, that you should step aside and let somebody who is capable to do that job. By you having people in your locality who could do that job, then they will be the ones to stand up to Tinubu and say, Baba, you can't do this thing.
This is wrong.
We will look for that.
This is not right, but they dare not, Baba. He picked most of them from the gutters, and then he gave them all the leverage and the platform. Some of them are now calling themselves big men today. And they dare not. They won't.
Yes, I said, with this psychopathy, you can't do that.
No, they can't.
So the summary of the whole thing, we are looking at the whole brouhaha that is happening this week. Remember, I keep telling you, it is by the will of God or by grace of God that we will have election in Nigeria. There are signs that election is
only then we decide that, and then we actually wish they would do that. They should do the election so that we can see what the post-election will be like. Osita, let me save us the rest of the night, okay? My time is so up.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for stopping by, as usual. Osita, my God, thank you very much, and you have a good night, okay? This is where we're going to draw the curtains. Tonight, we have already overshot our time, but it's worth it. I mean, isn't it? Or doesn't it? Isn't it? It doesn't matter. So yeah, it's worth it. And I want to say thank you to every one of you who stayed back, or even up to this moment. It's past midnight in Nigeria right now. You won't believe it. Yeah, it's past midnight. But people who watch this from Nigeria are already mostly on their bed, and they are just listening to this last part before they finally doze off, right? Well, thank you. If you are still awake and watching this before you go, please don't leave without liking that broadcast. I mean, come on, just thumb up, not thumb up in the comment, thumb up under the video, like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. I'm actually thinking I'm going to get to 70,000 in another few hours. And my birthday is just about 72 hours away, or less than 72 hours away. In fact, less than 50 hours away. So thank you. And I'm going to see you some other time. And that other time is going to be tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe. From me to you, I'll say good night. Daura.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Máyégún làwa mọ̀ láwọn tó jódodo.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Máyégún Diary politico.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún Diary náà ibi nọ́mbà 1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni. ó fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.